All right. Today I wanted to review another Rogue's videos. This is Casual Addict. The great push is going on right now. He was on the team Shiny Unicorns. They lost kind of day 3 of the group stage to the team Mandatory and No Speaky. Which, as of recording this video, we're going into the final day of the great push, which is like who can do the highest M plus keys. And the two teams they lost to are the top two teams going into the final day of the event. So that tells you a little something about this guy. He's on a very good team, one of the best rogues in the world. I think he has the highest necrotic wake that's out there right now, although the great push teams, as for a rogue. But anyways, going into his talents in this key, I had to do a little inferring because these people don't show their talents and they also don't log, I assume for competitive reasons. But annoying for us, but that's all right. There's a few things to call out. One is we're not running Master Assassin, which I feel like 98% of rogues do run Master Assassin, but I think the idea behind this is I'm going to guess they're chain pulling constantly. And so the only time I expect him to get a re-stealth is when he uses Vanish. So basically that just reduces the value of Master Assassin, right? Like if you're not getting re-stealths, if you're not going back into stealth, there's just less uptime on Master Assassin. And for that same reason, you're not going to run Subterfuge, right? One of the big benefits of Subterfuge is it extends the Master Assassin's window. It extends the Iron Wire window. We're not running Iron Wire here again, but also if we look at the team composition, we got our Prop Paladin and we got is this Enhance or Ellie? Enhance Shaman, both of which have a gazillion stops. We got Capacitor Totem, Shamans have a knockup, Prop Paladin can get every kick. They don't have to worry about that. So again, you're seeing at the highest level, they don't run Iron Wire. Doesn't mean it's a bad talent, just means they have team comps to support it. So yeah, if you're dropping Master Assassin, if you're dropping Subterfuge, you're getting some points in lethality and Supercharger. This is just damage. It's going to help the single target a little bit. And just damage overall with the crit chance. The other interesting thing, we have Twist the Knife, which is really good. Helps your single target, which is great. And a little bit of your AoE with the Poison and Caustic Spatter. Not running Sudden Demise, which is kind of interesting. And instead choosing Dashing Scoundrel. I'm gonna guess this is for more single target damage because Sudden Demise is very good. I think I would choose Sudden Demise for my key levels, but I think at the highest level that we're about to see here, this is probably the idea behind that. And then obviously we got Sanguine Blades, which is really good for AoE, does a lot of damage, but doesn't help your single target at all. So maybe this is to kind of compensate for that. Anyways, those are the talents we're working with. We'll get right into this key. I'm going to watch the first pull in 50% speed just because I want to kind of watch everything that goes down. Looking at the UI, there's a few things I'm checking. I'm like, all right, what is he tracking and where is cooldowns? So we have Deathmark and Kingsbane down here. We have his defensive cooldowns here. We have the rotation here. This is the reason I chose Casual Addict specifically, is because he shows his rotation. And then we have Deathstalker, the Deathstalker debuff, and the Envenom buff here. We also pre-potted going into the dungeon. Something that you can do on almost every key is you pre-pot. And so he has 18 seconds here of potion, and he still has another charge available to him. And that'll come into play. It's just more uptime on the potion, right? More damage. Interesting that he faints here. I did not know you could faint from stealth, but I think the only reason to do this is to save him a GCD going into the rotation, right? That's one less button he has to push because you're going to need feint up the whole time. Opening up with an ambush and then going into Garrotes, getting Rupture, spreading another Rupture. Gets targeted here with Throw Flesh. So, or is this Throw Cleaver? Never mind. So he's tracking Throw Cleaver here. throw flesh. He's got his focus macro or his focus target up here. We'll see if he gets any kicks with that. And then he's funneling into the gatekeeper, right? Because that's the most dangerous mob. So also tricks of the trade going into the pull. Reapplies the feint. Crimson Tempest before his cooldowns. I think because the mobs have such high health, he's totally good doing that. We mutilate. He's getting caustic spatter up, and I'm gonna guess right after this he's gonna go into his cooldowns.
Jump 3 times.
Yep, there goes his treacherous transmitter, potion, and venoms. I assume to get the envenom buff because he didn't have that up yet, so now that's up. And then here we go into Deathmark. He tees on the first Deathmark, which is interesting. I assume this is for the mastery bonus. Like, this is a min-max thing. You're not going to use your T stacks in AoE because you're always going to be capped on AoE based on the talents. Let's see if I can show it. Based on venomous wounds, you're always going to be capped on energy. So he's using the T for the mastery. That is like super min-maxy in my opinion. So we Kingsbane, and then we're Phantom Knivesing and Venom spam, right? So he's just trying to get his Deathstalker debuff. He pops Evasion this time after the feint goes down. Again, super dangerous pull. The one thing I did call out, there's so much going on, is he feinted and they used the shield to survive that first Wrath of Zolramas. So he was able to save the evasion because of that shield was down. And he obviously had feint up. He's tracking his Kingsbane timer here. So he's at 8 seconds and he shivs, right? We talk about that. You want to shiv on the last 8 seconds of Kingsbane for the best damage. Yep, and then more Phantom Knives. He Thistle Tease again for the mastery buff, right? He doesn't need the energy in AoE, so he's doing that purely for the mastery.
Kill it with our hands now.
Deathmark's ending. And then, yep, we're just Phantom Knivesing of Pops. Oh gosh, it's a little loud. Pops feint again. Now they're just chilling in the bubble.
Another PS.
And then I'll be curious to see if he vanishes offensively here. It doesn't look like he's tracking his Scent of Blood stacks anywhere, but he still is at 20 up in his buff tracker up here. It's interesting that he chooses not to track that.
I will tail swipe to stop this. You can release.
Let's see. There's the vanish, and we're reapplying the ruptures, reapplying Garrotes. Fainting again. I don't think there's been a single second here where he hasn't had feint or evasion up. But more Phantom Knives and Venom spam. The dangerous parts of the pull are over, at least for the DPS. Throw Cleaver, just using that to help kill the Harvester. I didn't see if he got any kicks out. Like I said, he's running with a prop paladin. Enhancement shaman, it's very possible that he didn't need to kick anything because those classes are OP. He's shivving between his Kingsbanes here. And I'm gonna guess, if I back it up, Shiv has been up for at least one GCD. Alright, so yeah, so Shiv was up for a few GCDs, but he's still getting the Shiv in between the Kingsbanes. You can get one Shiv in between your Kingsbanes if you're really quick about it. So that's something, another optimization where like normally you save that Shiv for Kingsbane 100% of the time, but if you're good with it and you notice right when it comes off cooldown, you can send it. And he might know that he's not going to be Kingsbaning this pack because they're so low that he has the extra time going into the next pull before he's going to Kingsbane. Where he'll have Shiv up in time. But we'll see. Kingsbane's coming off in 3 seconds. I wonder if he knows like the health that he wants a target to be at for him to Kingsbane.
I think we should.
Oh, he Kingsbanes this Flesh Crafter. And he's got Darkest Night up. So yeah, he Kingsbane pretty much as soon as it was off cooldown. And then I'm not seeing a T usage, so it looks like maybe he didn't T the second time, which is fine. He's holding on to 2 charges of feint at this point. There's nothing to feint really. So he's just gonna hold him on, go into the next pull. All right, we'll turn this back into regular speed, and we'll kind of just see. I probably won't watch. What am I doing? I probably won't watch all of this keep, but interesting pull. Not that different from what I shared in the guide. I think the only changes was he Crimson Tempest earlier. I Crimson Tempest after my death mark. And I think that's partly because of the key level. Mobs live a lot longer. He has there's no concern that he's not going to get the full duration of death mark off, right? Like he can delay that window longer and still get value out of it.
We kill it with our hand.
Or max full value, I should say.
I can fear next after this.
Kidney Shot's the harvester here. Kidney Shot's really good. When you have when you have 7 combo points, the Kidney Shot is just an insanely long stun, especially on the harvester, where they're throwing axes, throwing flesh. When they aren't stunned, it's the best stun you can have. The Wrath of Zolramas, he only feints this.
I will knock next.
Was there another external?
Next, I'm gonna shield.
I'm surprised. Maybe he used potion?
Probably.
Let's see. Oh, no. Well, he Cloak of Shadowed after the fact.
I will knock next.
Very interesting. Was that for a bolt?
Jay root him after the landslide.
I wonder why you cloaked there too. Maybe you just misplayed that.
Now can you do that?
So he's... One thing that he does differently is he's tracking who's getting targeted with abilities here. I do it on via like the nameplates. You can kind of see it on the nameplate here that Throw Cleaver is about to get hit.
Now can you do that? It might cause trouble.
But pretty good. This Wrath, he
You can take it.
again only feints. But it looks like they had the Augvoker cast Zephyr. So he only needed the feint. He doesn't need another button. He probably wants to save evasion going for the boss, but they might not. Well, I'll be curious if they pull the boss next.
I'm gonna put it here. I don't have my root, so you need to totem Jay.
Another thing that I think is interesting. Oh, yep, see, they're pulling the boss. So I think that's why you wanted evasion, just in case he gets targeted here.
Or maybe
Care
this-
behind.
no.
Sec, care behind.
Collect or stand in circle.
One thing I didn't call out in the rotation is he's monitoring caustic spatter here. You know, I'm gonna expect him to be reapplying that quite a lot. When on the next pack, I'll see it, call it out if I can.
Don't go.
All right, so he vanishes here offensively to get Senta blood stacks on these worms that come out, and he's tracking his indiscriminate carnage window here. So he's like, all right, I have 2 seconds where Rupture is very high value, and I have 2 seconds where Garrote's really high value. I also track this. I track it a little differently, but it's again a nice thing to keep track of. So you know when should I be hitting Fan on Ives or should I be hitting Garrote as my builder?
Upheaval.
I'll move a bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
very good.
Yeah, and then the other thing to notice is once he put the Ruptures and Garrotes on those ads, he went right back into the boss. I talked about this in my Necrotic Wake video, but
That's good.
you want the Senta blood stacks
Spell what next?
to help your funnel damage, right? It's giving you agility that's going to make your single target damage, your priority target damage stronger.
I release after the front look, yeah?
He's a little energy starved here,
Like there on pings.
but he
Will do.
doesn't look like he's pooling that much.
Yeah, I will.
Okay,
And I think part of that is because he knows he's going to be able to get energy back on these ads, right? So here he goes. He's getting Ruptures out
I see
just for the energy, and then he goes straight back into the boss after the Ruptures. He'll Fan of Knives for the combo point generation. That's also good.
He's a bit closer. It's fine.
Crimson Tempest there. That's the target on the ads. You still have to kill the ads. But, like, look, it's not a priority for him. He's still funneling the boss. And then Caustic Spatter just came down. He hits Mutilate to reapply it. And then he goes right back into his Fan of Knives. And now the ads are dead, so he'll be using Mutilate.
Turn to
Yes.
the-
This is fine.
Check where the craft is, Jay.
Still hasn't gotten targeted.
Will do.
So
Sec.
we might not get to see him hit evasion or anything.
Totem and I release.
But they have a prop paladin that's probably sacking every other one. And then I assume Pain Stump would still be enough, but I'm not sure. Gets those Ruptures out again.
I have a
He won
stun
the boss.
after this move here. Did Fadil do on me?
They're
too? Okay, I will
doing...
need a hotch on the
Yeah,
right
this is
here.
just...
It's defensive, right?
Classic necrotic weight bosses. This is some like priest tech here where they have the throw cleaver going into the boss. This is the only reason this key is so busted. All right, we get targeted, we pop evasion.
Yes,
First
I
thing, go around.
press defensives as well in pain.
So I'm gonna guess they have sack up for the next one.
We're chilling. No stun here.
Deathmark is
I don't
up.
know where to
Yes, we
put the
are.
guy.
Not sending it, waiting for
Circle.
that circle so he has full uptime.
Just move the boss a lot. I have 2 minutes here
Can
and we get one more
you-
cleaver.
Lens eye
So,
check,
yeah.
release?
Yeah.
Again, he deathmarked when the boss was at 15% health.
Sack next.
At the high key levels, like
You don't. Yep.
you are going to get full value out of your cooldowns,
Correct.
even when the boss
Cooldowns
health
are
is
good
low.
things,
So
guys.
just send it.
5 seconds for the-
Yeah, I go for spear.
They're still just juggling this crafter. They have it rooted.
I sleep
Fearless,
up.
and then I break
This is the part of
By the way, this guy still
like
fast
competitive
with
keys that I'm like, I don't think I would enjoy that.
So, that's it.
It's just like
Go, casual.
You hate
the
this
ultimate
one?
Yes.
Good.
I'm gonna do everything I can kind of thing. And this is the other reason to devalue Subterfuge and Master Assassin, right? He didn't even re-stealth after that boss kill. They were out. They had like 15 seconds to get the re-stealth, I feel like.
King.
We need to
And he couldn't because they were still in combat with this Flesh Crafter,
Soldier's
Very good.
bad.
Still drink.
using the Throw Cleaver to help kill down the Gatekeeper. Interesting to me that he's tracking
Ruptured.
crippling poison here. I
I
wonder
did before when we first pulled
I wonder
it,
why
it
that
was
is.
selected bonfire. If the mob
Maybe
skills
to
fast
help the
speed,
tank
it goes,
kite,
it's
but
not, that's what I'm
it
saying.
doesn't seem like something that would be worth tracking.
It does have a bleed
It does
until
a lot.
it's healed to full.
I really
HP.
need to try Plater. I think it's just would make my life a lot better.
We should
Still using the default Blizzard nameplates.
It's on 70%
like a scrub.
HP. I have to heal it for like 30 million or something.
Alright, we'll
Before
watch.
it was 93, that's what
We'll
I
watch
said.
one more poll,
We can
and,
make it
uh,
how
We
late.
healed it to we
'cause
healed it to full
I don't expect there to be a whole lot of like.
Bleed is still there, though,
I mean, there might be some crazy necrotic wake tech, but
I mean, we need
the
to
rogue
fully
tech I
heal
don't
now.
think
Focus
will
on the king.
Just
will
heal.
change that much.
Yeah, but just heal it. Otherwise, it's gonna be perma broken.
I
Alright,
will
they're
if
skipping this pack.
I mean, I can only heal it if I have it my control. Yeah.
Yeah, wait, don't go. Let just everyone spam heal it. Like we can't play it if the guys.
It could be. We'll watch till that mini boss because that's a dangerous boss. I'll be curious to see how they take care of that.
I feel certain of
The patrol is bad, by the way.
I think they're just waiting for the pat to be in the right position.
Yeah, I mean we have to take.
I
the
don't
L.
think they would skip. I don't think you
Ah,
can
okay,
skip
so
anything
it's broken
else.
from loot, right? It's not playable.
Yeah, what is happening?
You
Watch
just need
out
to
the
be more
patrol.
careful.
Alright, sorry, I fast forwarded a little bit there. Oh, they're skipping that pat too. Really? Oh, I guess if you do
Put him up on the stairs.
all the trash downstairs, you can. Huh. All right.
Totem now.
Still
Select
hasn't
or stand in
fainted.
circle.
Stunning.
He's got a focus macro here on a sorcerer.
I will not.
He's on star. I bet they're calling that out. Like, hey, I got star.
You, you have
I
them
bubble
under
if
control.
they're actually.
He uses his potion here
Orb, so they're stacked.
Sure.
Patrol.
early before Deathmark is up because he knows potion lasts. What is it, like 30 seconds? He knows he can potion early and still get full value when the Deathmark shows up. And wow, they absolutely melted that pack. That was crazy.
Watch
I
out
do
behind
yellow.
you still.
Breaking.
I bet that Fleshcraster probably
breaking.
helped.
Just take it.
Yeah, I take it. I take it.
No surrounded bones.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, great players doing great
And
things.
Star.
That damage on that first pull was insane. It was like 16 million or something silly. But with this ad, we're gonna call it. Thanks for watching. Hope you found that interesting. Maybe we'll do a full key one day or something more. But have a good one. Good luck out there.